that back once more. And actually forgot to make desktop nice and tidy. Let me do that. Oh. And here we go again. Back to the exciting world of the micro limits and bot limit on run at once. .eu. Ah, not messing up the website in this time. And let's, play some parts. Hey, what's going on yet? But I mean, there's only one table we're getting hands. It'll change rather quickly, I expect. So far the day has been going okay. Now I'm like down one buy-in, but like 2 spots I could have done or should have done something different. And all the other spots where I got it in, where I played big pots, I ran out of luck, basically, is the short version. Just thinking here with the 5 and the 3, maybe on the button it is worth a call. It's by no means a reason to get really excited this hand. You have to hit it pretty nicely, that board. Right. Yeah, and that's fine. And, I think more often than not I'm gonna fold this. The double suited queens are awesome, don't get me wrong. It's just the 3 and the 5s, so you can't rely on your pocket pair alone unless you have kings in many of the spots. Not with all of the kings by any means. With, the aces, the pocket pairs, the reason you're raising this hand with this hand, you want to have more reasons than the pocket pairs. Basically what I'm saying. The 3 and the 5 don't really qualify. But we're on the button and that has to account for something. So, setup-wise, I think I'm pretty good now. I figured out bringing the table and focus and all that jazz. And the chat should be working now. Let me check that. Put on the exclamation mark site in the chat. I installed the bot that does stuff for me. Didn't even know I wanted until I knew it was a thing. Might be some useful information for, like first-time visitors to the stream that are curious about Run at Once or about myself. And I'll add some more functionality. One thing I'm definitely going to do is add a list with poker terms that I keep using over and over again. So, for the people new to poker, which is what these streams are also all about. Get people excited about poker the way basically I got excited about poker, which was not by streams back then. No, Twitch wasn't a thing. But yeah, and I think that might be helpful. Not everybody knows what a EB is or what under the gun is or maybe what EB is and all that stuff, and you tend to poker has its own lingo. And you just have to use it a lot to talk about hands, and otherwise I would have to talk even more than I do already. But enough of all that, some action. Definitely good enough to re-raise here. Ace high suit is nice. The 4, the ace 4 can make some straights. And wow, that's awesome. Get to put even more money into the pot pre-flop, and it's not going to be a family pot, so all the more reason to get excited. Oh, he has a perfect hand against ours. I mean, that's the kind of hand you want to have. Fortunately for him, he doesn't get there. Well, I'm saying that as if I really feel for him, but I'm just saying, he had a perfect hand. Not too excited about the 3-bet in this case, in his spot, because he was on the button and he had the power of position. Had he just called, we would have been still fairly deep stacked. The SPR, the stack to pot ratio, wouldn't have been that hot yet. Still plenty of room to make moves and all that. Every once in a while, I'm on board with what he did. Like, sure, mix it up and 3 or even sometimes even 4 bet, depending on the spot. Your perfect rundowns, double suited rundowns. Right, going back to this view. Anything to do down here? Maybe. That might have been too nitty. Might have been one of the reasons why I'm always the sleeping guy at the table according to the side. If that's a call, then it's not a huge deal not to do it. Not like that's a big money-making hand. And the small blind is usually the position you lose the most money in over time. Like you basically can't avoid losing money in the blinds. It's true for most forms of poker, if not all. I wouldn't want to say I'm certain about that part, but certainly is true for PLO here. I'm not going to. You have to draw the line somewhere, and I feel not the hand not being perfectly double suited, as in both high cards of the same suit. I think that's a fine dividing line, even though it looked very nice, don't get me wrong. Just doing some stuff on the side for a second. Figuring out some stuff, Discord and all that. Folding here, no brainer. Folding here, no brainer. Here against the raise I would have called. It's just a standard fold, I feel. Okay. Good stuff. So yeah, we obviously had a nice pot down here. With that, that marks a good start to the stream, I believe. A small splash pot on the bottom left. The other one, the top left, is what I mean. Alright. Focusing my attention back to poker. Looks like the chatbot is, or the chat overlay in the stream, in the actual stream now, is working fine. I think it's much more readable now than it was on the first try. What are you calling here for the Always Fun min-raise? Folding here, the 3 suits, the 7. Alrighty. Let's see if either does. We also have a straight and blockers, no, a straight draw and blockers, I mean. A lot of good things going on in this hand. Not least being the backdoor flush. He bets pretty big, so I'm hoping he's caught something. And I'm gonna raise him right now, hoping he'll be able to continue. And he does continue. That's awesome. We make the, we basically had the nuts. He's not gonna have kings here. Almost ever. And we make the nuts once more. Also something unique to PLO. Like in No Limit Hold'em, pretty often, if you have the nuts, you sometimes get a drawn out one, or they basically remain the nuts. Tell them why you can have the nuts and make the nuts yet again. And I mean, how nice is that in one hand? Come back to the 4-table view. To my surprise, I'm not messing that up too much, like switching around with the tables and a little bit of a scatterbrain sometimes. I am positively surprised about myself. About myself. To say it the Canadian way. Right, so potentially something nice could happen here. We're definitely gonna re-raise that. The small blind. I mean, you steal a lot in a small blind in this scenario when it gets folded around to you. So even if he like raises again, I'm not gonna be terribly sad, especially when I flop the, the current nuts, but on a very different board than the last one. We don't have any backup at all. And that means I'm gonna bet big, I think. Ideal, in a perfect world, he's gonna raise and just save me any difficult decisions on the turn and river, because I can just basically get it in. So if I bet 3, 7, 12. Still gonna bet big. Bet size considerations for the river are not important in this spot. Okay. More of a certainly pretty much a standard raise there, but that's a raise fold. That's important to keep in mind here. Not suited to the ace. I give the big blind aces. Maybe I'm calling, because I would block the ace, the king, and I would be in position. And these 3 things combined probably put the hand over the top. Wait. So. Hey, folds back again. It's amazing to see you here all the time. I appreciate that. Thanks. Folds are saying, I see the chat is getting closer to the box. Still not quite there, but much clearer to read. Yeah, it's the chat's gonna scroll up, and that's like the. I agree. I haven't positioned it perfectly yet, but as long as it's readable now, then I'll be happy for today. I'll take care of the rest tomorrow. Thanks for letting me know. So as you can see, folks, I doubled up down here, almost doubled up. Things are. Wait, where's my bot doing that? My night bot. I didn't tell it to do that, did I? Oh, fair enough. Oh, because you did. I didn't see that. You typed in exclamation mark command. That's so new to me. I mean, I know about the concept of bots and everything, but I've just never been on the using end of them, especially in a context of having a chat or having a stream. Yeah, I'm gonna add that terms list in the very near future. I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow before I start streaming. Like, I'm gonna expand on it later on, but I'm basically thinking is having a link to a Google document or something where some stuff is explained for people that are new to the poker world. Like what is EV, where the heck is Under the Gun located at, and all that jazz. I'm flopping pretty nicely here. I think I'm gonna lead out. Because why not? Would hate to see it check through, quite honestly. Probably have like a 8 or 9 roll off. I'm down here. Against 2 people, just checking. Not making my flush. Have a gutter to the absolute nuts. In the form of a straight flush. It's not something that has any influence on how I would play the hand and all that. Just thought I'd mention it. Now with 2 checks, Probably worth like some money. But small. Mind someone coming along. Every once in a while you get drawn out on by two pair that you're ahead of right now. I think that's fine. Let me take it down. So yeah, folks, as you can see, there's only 3 commands in there right now. If you have any ideas of what else could be useful, let me know, by all means. Holding here is okay. One of the button. This might be a spot where I'm usually too nitty. So I'm gonna raise it up. Get called by the button. Holding this one down here, because it's not suited to the ace. There's some... Wouldn't want to play like a multi-way pot with this hand. Heads up, it's probably okay. We flop the second nuts currently and a top 2 pair. I have a backdoor flush draw. Maybe get aces on the other table, so let's take care of this one first. I think checking is the way to go, quite honestly, because we don't block the diamonds at all, which are rolling off now. If we bet, then got at least one call. Would now have to check and give them at least a nice opportunity to bluff. Fortunately, the aces got a walk on the other table. Now I have to check, obviously. No reason to get creative here. Yeah, I'm if not happy with the board, I'm at least happy with how I played this hand so far. I think that's the way to go. Deciding happen on any other table. Can I go for really, really thin value bet? What's gonna call me? 6s now. Right, let's get greedy a little. We got one caller, so at least something going on. Let's see. Yeah, the small flush. That's fine. It is by no means a must doing that in value bet. I think might be different at the higher stakes. I don't think it is. So yeah, it's completely offsuit kings. I am gonna call him. For no other reason, basically, than I want to. I don't think it's like a must call here. Unless you plan on turning what's probably the nuts. I'm gonna lead out big. Because now this is a very drawy board. Check raise might be something to consider. Hoping he bets and get to put in a lot of money. Well, I like it. I like the lead. We take it down, which is awesome. Good deal. So here, definitely a decent hand. Not gonna fold this to a 3-bet. And take it down as well. Folding here. Down here, against the raise, I'm getting spared having to make any difficult, not necessarily difficult decisions, but thinking about what to do. And now I don't need to. So, folks, you're saying, yes, fair enough. About me taking care of the rest of the chat, I assume tomorrow. Being able to read it is most important, he's saying. I think you should do away with the box altogether and just let chat scroll up from the streamer ad to the webcam. I'd love to be able to do that. Unfortunately, right now, this is the template they Ranked Ones has provided to their streamers, and the box is a part of it. It's like one graphic file, and it's the way it looks with the box and everything. And I actually forgot, but they're probably already aware of it, but I will hit them up on Discord later and tell them that maybe having an alternative layout would be the way to go, specifically for this case. for people wanting to stream in there. Because right now it doesn't kind of look that great. Oh, thanks for that one. For saying the command uptime is a common one with other streamers, and location as well. Location, I know what I should put in there that case, but uptime, is that like, do you think it's like total, like I have streamed this many hours, days, weeks, years in my life, or for the day, or for the current stream? Let me know. This one I'm not sure what I should put in there. And I'm assuming location is for other streamers is usually vague, like they're not gonna, have their hometown and stuff in there. This one and the small blind might be non-obvious, but I think I'm gonna fold this one with. That's might be short stack thinking. Actually, I'm gonna copy this hand history down in a second and look it up, because I'm not sure if this is a raise. It actually might not be. I know it's not in 30 BB poker. I kind of doubt it is in 50 BB. If so, it's a raise fold. Should probably is in this case as well. But this one is interesting to me. Those spots do come up often enough that it pays to know these. Okay, that kind of takes care of that. Don't expect anything more exciting to happen there. Here, could just call. I'm gonna re-raise. I don't look to play the pot with this dude behind me in the hand. Should he decide to call the bet, the raise. Checking here, so it took so long, guys. And would you look at that? For now we are happy with this is coming down. I think betting on the bigger end is not a mistake here. So nice hand here. Take it down. There's a splash pot happening down there. Let's see if we get a hand. Unfortunately, we don't. Probably betting small is the way to go. Either checking or betting small is okay. We get raised. I think I'm gonna drop it right now. I do have some backdoor, one obvious backdoor flush, and I'll drop it. Whereas here it was a limp pot. I'm gonna check it just because. They're both gonna fold, so I would like to have them catch up a little. Not too much, hopefully. Wait a little. This time on purpose. And bet it. So, Fultz, you're saying, I see. I see. You can't edit it then. The layout, like the background graphics that's part of the layout. No, I can't. This is how it was provided to me. I see. Thanks for expanding on that. So, uptime, the command uptime is the current stream uptime. Like how long this actual stream has been going on. For example, this one has been going on for 24 minutes already. Wow, wow. It's not like a long time, it just seemed like 10 minutes to me. Can't see that. Nice, I left focus on this table because, you can tell why. Getting them aces. We had the same aces before, right? Just different colors. Like a single suited ace suited, single suited ace is suited to the ace and the queen and the 4. This is quite a different flop than I vaguely remember getting last time. This one I'm going to check out of position, especially. And fold. Check fold is fine. It's aces, but, I'm not going to get too attached to them. So uptime is the current stream uptime, and you continue to say Germany should be fine. You can specify an area if you want. Northeast, southwest. Getting aces yet again. Awesome. That is very helpful. Thank you. I'll take care of that. Make a note of that. Uptime and location. I'll put that down in my... I have a 101 stuff text file. Open always. So, uptime. Okay. Sweet. Took it down with the aces. Folding this is fine. Folding this is fine for sure. Have anything here? No. Sorry for keeping you waiting, trucker guy. To catch up with aces yet again. Wow, we're on a roll. Yep. Also not bad aces. Not suited, but still the side cards, the Broadway cards. Help this hand a lot. And we can block 4 flushes. Hey, I never thought of that. I made myself smile. Sweet, uptime and location. Add to my text file. I'll take care of that tomorrow. That's awesome. And exclamation mark streamer. You say you can give a brief bio, poker related ages, another common question on other streams. Those are excellent points. Cool. You're just a well of information tonight. Thank you. I'm gonna have to fold this one because there's another guy to act, and we do have a gutter to the nuts. Hang on. We do have a gutter to the nuts, and we have a flush blocker. Yeah, I'm gonna call it. If it's a mistake, again, it's not a huge one, I'm sure. We can block 2 flushes, so we were to have plans of getting creative on the river. This is certainly... There's some potential for that here, but unfortunately, we get aces on that table, so that's nice. Unfortunately, this guy's not making it easy on us, and seems to be attached. I don't think we can bluff him off, should one of the 2 flushes come in. Streamer, you say. I'll put that down. That is awesome. Right on. Thank you. What's going on here? This... Wow. What to do? Check, I guess. We get aces yet again. Wow, we had like half a dozen aces in the last, I don't know, 10 minutes. And now I have to put in something here, I feel. Like really small. It's no matter what I do, it's... I have to get some more money. Nice that this is a splash pot too. We can raise even bigger. Awesome, we got called. Let's hope this guy is like... I don't know what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping he calls is what I'm hoping for. So let's bet it. That's a much better board now. Here I'm betting pot and that's it. If they have kings, then so be it. I'm gonna go get broke in this one. So the sleeping lady is in the tank, which is good news. She hasn't folded yet. And just want to mention that again, we have the absolute nuts. Nothing can beat us. We ended up folding, and we ended up taking down the pot on this table. The 4-4 king board. And life is good. I think that was alright. Against 4 guys, I don't wanna, I mean, yeah, I don't wanna give him a chance to draw out on me. Like make a full house with some pocket pair. One of them is sometimes holding, often enough holding, and all that. I am getting aces every hand. You're right, false. Luckbox, I'm not so sure about this today, but judging by the action going on in the last 10 minutes, yeah. I think now I'm up for the day a little bit, and it's all good. I'm not mad at all. Things are progressing very nicely on and all. And actually, I hadn't realized that with the streamer promotion, in case it's interesting to you folks, seeing that there's only 2 of us in here right now, there's like the tiers, like you have to get 200 hours watch time, and then you get like 50 something percent rake back, and then you get 1200 hours watch time, like combined watch time, to get 75, I believe. I completely ignored the 200 hour tier. I thought I had to get 1200 to qualify, and that will only be 50%. So, this might be very interesting thing, the whole streamer thing. I wasn't quite aware of how interesting it might be. So I'm curious. I'm tentatively optimistic, I think is a good expression. Yeah, with the 4-3, bad suits. Not gonna do it. I think it's time for pocket aces again. It's been a while. Hey, welcome to the stream. Thanks for keeping the 2 of us company. Playing Pot Limit Omaha and Run It Once Poker. Should you have any questions about the site, about a hand, let me know. Hit us up in the chat. I'll do my best to answer. Otherwise, just put up your feet, relax, and watch the stream. Enjoy some Micro Limit Pot Limit Omaha. Been getting into some nice spots so far already. A little bit up on the stream. One good thing about, although I use the HUD like always, about this side not having HUDs. And tracker support. I'm gonna limp these. These are really bad kings. I mean, I wouldn't. I'd usually throw them away, but there's some extra money in there. Well, it's not much, but still worth fighting for, maybe. I can call a raise. I mean, not an ideal situation by any means. Sure, why not? I think I'm gonna bet if they check. If they don't have a 10, I'm gonna take it down, I think. So I can bet small. And this way it's still profitable, I think, because pretty often we're gonna take it down here now. Might not be this time. We do get a gutter to the nuts now. But we might be drawing that. Or almost that to a king. So now to remain believable, I'm gonna bet, and if he calls, I'm done with the hand unless that king rolls off. Or maybe the third 10, then I'm also in there. Nice! Take it down. Some potential going on here. Wait, what's beeping at me? That's a bug that sometimes beeps when I'm, in fact, haven't taken any time at all. These are not the droids we're looking for. So, there, checking there. Maybe some bluffing potential here. Against one single. I'm folding this to 4-3. They more often enough reason for me to let it go. Oh, and Fulls, you're saying Janaz is on, right? Right, I saw that, and that's always going to take a lot of viewers. I hadn't considered that. So whenever Janaz is on, I can take a break. It's a good point. I'm taking a lot of viewers, I mean. Not closing the action, not calling, out of position for the rest of the hand. Not what I'm looking to. Not a spot I'm looking to be in too often. Yeah, that's a good point, Janaz being on. I believe back in the day there was some TV program in England, I don't remember what it was, and they had to provision, like, they had to make sure that they have enough electricity, basically, like because right when that program ended, like basically every British household put the kettle on to make tea. And so they actually had to take that into account into their planning. I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, I should have bet here actually on table one. But we look at aces once again. Would you look at that? So now I do have to flush after that. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna check it. Is what I was gonna say all along. The aces get a walk, unfortunately. What can you do? I think I'm taking down this one on this table quite a lot now. Quite often now, I mean. This guy's a 7 and 10. Wow, he didn't bet it. Wow. We got there, we let him get there, that's fine. Cost us 10 cents. Deal with that. Not tilted at all. So yeah, folks, thanks for keeping me company. Looks like it's gonna be a slow night, viewership-wise, which is more than fine. I never didn't go into this with any expectations at all. Oh, kind of a slow night. It's okay too. This one, sure. I'm gonna call that 3-bet, most likely. Check out the tables. There's 2 dudes asleep on this one. Do have a very aggressive hoodie guy next to us, which is awesome. 2 dudes asleep, 3 dudes. Well, counting me, I mean, I'm also asleep, so I can hardly throw stones. Would be a slower table, loose aggressive to my right. That's probably okay too. Holding this for sure. Checking here. Ooh, that's at least something of a hand on there. Let's see what's going on here. Checking on the table where I have the jacks, by the way. Planning to. If I can. Would love to see a river. Although now they both check twice. No, I'm not gonna check actually. No, I'm gonna bet big. On the jacks table. On this one. We have some piece and one backdoor. Backdoor flush, I mean. This board is gonna hit him so much harder in the face than it does us. We take it down the pot with the jacks. And now we flip that's it. Like pretty much the best turn. Except for 9. They're checking it though. A hamster man! Welcome to the stream. It's kind of stupid. I think I have to call lefty open and I have to flush have a pair. We drawn very thin, but still, I mean, that's enough of reasons to call. Do make the second nuts. I'm gonna bet. Probably bet fold, like, grudgingly. But he finds a call, and that tells me I'm good. He's just calling. Curious to see if he has a flush as well. Was it spades, and he has ace queen 10-5. So he had a 2 pair. Nice, that's awesome. So Hefsterman, run it once in PLO. PLO, the great game indeed. And we are playing on runitonce.eu, the new site by Phil Gelfand, as I'm sure you're aware. Why am I taking so long here? I'm folding this. It is the great game, and it is a nice site. I'm starting to like it a lot. Not just because I'm now officially streaming for them, I'm streaming for them because I like the site. They got me into streaming. Completely new to the scene, slotted on Wednesday. Definitely raising here, looking to get some action, for sure. This is an interesting one. The deuce and the 3. I know at low stack sizes, 30 and 50 big blinds. This is a fold for sure. I have a hunch that it might be at 100 BB as well. So I'm gonna look like in it and fold it. I think it's not terrible. Here, I mean, gonna see a check here happening too. With any backdoor. I think this is a check or, well, yeah, or a bet. This is a fold for sure down here. At the Ace King Queen Jack, suited to the king, king is suited. It gets an early position raise, being out of position for the rest of the hand. Nope. So back to this hand. Where the ace rolls off, and now I'm betting really big. If he has an ace, most likely we still have him beat. Yeah. Hamsterman, if you have any questions about run and one's poker, I'm by now fairly qualified to answer them. I've read up on like pretty much everything they have on the site. Everything you can read, like how the bonus works and what's special about the site. And now by doing, I'm taking this long. I should be following this a bit quicker. So we do set table number 2. Unfortunately, I'm forced to play PLO 10, seeing that they don't have anything in between PLO 10 and PLO 50. And I don't, frankly, just have the bankroll for PLO 50 just yet. At least not a bankroll I'd be comfortable playing with. I'm a bit of a nit when it comes to bankroll management, which has served me well in the sense that I've never got broke, which is apparently the proper way of saying never gone broke as a poker player. Never get broke, go broke. But in like an old Doyle Brunson book. Kind of funny. And yeah, so I can't really play higher than that. It's kind of a pity, but then again, I have played a lot of short stack poker, not that great with full stack poker yet. And some interesting input coming up. Hamsterman is saying, I think you can consider check jamming the turns. I suppose people play their nuts trades fast, and the nuts is still the same on a turn with the open end and flush draw. Going for the check raise there, huh? That's a good point. Yeah, I like it. I'm definitely raising this one. And he says, and I don't think he bet the flop right. Yeah. Great. Ooh, nice. It's alright to take some time here. What to do? Oh, the humanity. Checking here for sure. Board isn't getting any better, but then again, how could it? Checking is still the way to go, I feel. Yeah, I'm jamming, of course. He bets on this table. I'm just gonna fold, stick to my guns. That's fine. Nothing exciting. Just gonna pot it. Barely have a little more than a pot size bet left. I'm behind here sometimes. Sometimes we're basically flipping, and he doesn't get there. He had an open ender and a flush draw, and that's pretty much it. Not that that's enough. Basically, what I'm saying. But it doesn't get there, and that's all that matters in the end. Okay. On the chat, Folds is saying, yeah, in the 1970s, poor economic climate in the UK, electricity. Oh, in the poor economic climate in the 70s, electricity was restricted in the UK for a while to 4 days a week. Really? I did not know that. Only 3 TV channels in the UK then, so 20 million people would watch the same soap opera in the evenings, and there would be a power surge during the commercial break when people made tea and coffee, which is referring to a comment I made earlier, saying basically the same thing. Yeah, interesting. I didn't know about the powers, like the rationing. Is that? I think that's the word. And of course, yeah, I never put two together back then. You had 3 TV channels. So I remember that, like not like the early 70s, but a little later than that. But I do remember that late 80s in Germany. Hey, Hamster, I'm digging the input. I think with the tight guy on the left, AK deuce 3 double suited, you can raise fine and cut off. I'll take it on board. I'll look it up as well, the spot, but I'll take it on board. I appreciate it a lot. By the way, sorry for the Nightbot spamming like stuff twice in a row. I was not supposed to do that. At least I didn't explicitly tell it to. I'm kind of annoyed by it. Because when I view streams, I get annoyed with too much promotional stuff going on. I understand it's part of the game. But that's just me. I'll fix it. Hamster saying, I was thinking maybe you could lower the stream delay a bit, especially 10 PLO. What's it at right now? It's a little, around 2.5 minutes, something like that. And I have to think about it, because I know there's like one guy I was chatting to earlier who's gonna be at the same tables with me in the near future. That I know from other sites I played on until very recently. I'm not quite sure I can do it that much. I had it at like 30-40 seconds lower earlier. And I got given the tip basically from, hang on, let me put it on 4-table view again. From a very nice gentleman who is a mod on the Lex Welthaus. I think I always have trouble pronouncing the name. Channel, and he actually advised me to up it a little. So I'll take your comment into account for sure, and I'll think about it. Keep it coming, I do appreciate it. Why did I call here? Is that, I mean, it's not horrible. I was kind of on autopilot. Didn't really mean to do that, being out of position against, even though it's a very loose passive, there's just so many boards I'm not gonna like, I feel. This being one of them. And Fuss saying delay would be another good command. Awesome, I'll add it to the list right now. Delay being a command, is that like standard? I mean, for people that are looking for that extra edge, that, as in, you know, stream snipers, doesn't it give them, you know, a better tool? Curious to hear your thoughts about it. I'm new to streaming, as I said, so I'm ready to soak up some knowledge. Hamsterman saying, yeah, you're getting in there, assuming you mean on the top right. Yeah, for sure, no brainer. One pod size better. It's different if we would be both be like super deep. SPR of like 3, 2.5 to 3, it starts making a difference, a bigger difference as what to do. Please, as always, do tell me if you think I'm talking nonsense. I might be sometimes. I hope. I kind of think I don't too often. But do tell me. But you know, keep it coming. I do appreciate it. Otherwise, it would be, that's why I'm streaming, not to have people watch me, but so I can talk to people. Not just at people. Been sitting in front of my computer doing my thing at way too many poker tables for last 14 months, all by myself. And I got bored of that. This, on the other hand, has been a lot of fun so far. I don't expect that to change anytime soon. Hang on, one pro tip I already gathered is that I need to drink a lot. And unfortunately, I'm not talking about beer, because, well, I guess fortunately, because that's gotta be bad at some point too. I'll stick to water. All that talking kind of makes me a bit perched. And Hipsman's saying, got it, lol. I'm not entirely sure what you got, to be honest. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is a race all day long, I'm sure. Added money. So often it's gonna be, I'm slowly getting to grips with these splash pots. So often I'm never limp, by the way, but if I limp, I get raised out of so often and I'm just donating to the pot. I'm gonna pitch it. Different if it was 100 BB, 400 BB splash. Then I'm in there, like I'm all in. Here. Calling is fine, even if those guys come along. I think I'm gonna be in position that has to mean something. Hamsterman says, yeah, I wish, that's what you were, why you said, got it. about the stream delay we were talking about. And you're saying, yeah, I wish there was a better system so the interaction can be quicker, but understandable. Me too. Me too. I like the lower delay, and I mean, I didn't really get. Not that I know of, not that I noticed, I didn't get stream sniped. But just hearing this, hearing that advice to up it from the Lex Veltos mod, channel mod. I mean, how can you not take that information on board, that advice? Especially as a streaming noob as I am. And Hamsterman is saying, but yeah, playing Niddy at the micros with the rake is the way to go, although when it wants the splash pods do change the equation a bit. When they're actually happening, and even the small ones, they do. And they do the more, the bigger the splashes get. I completely agree, and I also completely agree playing Niddy at the micros with the rake. Like if you watch the Jane Anders videos, which I do a lot, he can pull some moves, he can play some hands that are just suicide on the, you barely break even, if that. Once you take the rake into account. Which is also why I'm folding this with the deuce in there. It's a super nice looking hand, but the deuce kills it completely. Here, not even on the button. It's a fine fold. It's not a bad hand by any means, but I would hate to get like 3-bet. You know what, this... I mean, he had raised... I would definitely open raise it, like open that hand myself if I get the chance. You know, let me know what you think. There's a whole bunch of spots I still have to do research on at 100 BB poker. Like 30 BB against an open, that's a fold for sure. 50 BB, I'm not entirely sure, it probably is, sometimes might be a call. More likely than not, it's a fold as well. But at 100? King, Jack, Queen, 3 of the same suit. Yeah. As you can probably tell, I'm not sure. Right, and I poured the water, now I have to drink the water. That's kind of part of it. And in regards to the splash pots changing the equation, as soon as they're big enough, I'm in. I've seen 2 400 BB splashes, one 800 and one 1000 splash. 1000 big blind splash, that is. So they put in, you know, an easy 100 euros into a pot at a 10 PLO. Raising this for sure. Calling here against the ever mystifying not pot size bet. Open, I mean. Stopping nothing good. Can't do anything. How deep is this guy? We're both deep enough, so sure. This side never got like that. The absolute min raise. Like, what are you telling me? Folding here, easy peasy. Against a pot size bet, there's nothing to think about, I'm sure. So yeah, and when one of these big splashes happen, I'm in. I mean, I don't... Unless I'm super deep, and there's like 3 other super deep, or at least, like, you know, there's a bunch of us are super deep, is the short version. But other than that, I'm in. Doesn't matter, unless I have quad deuces, like, it's what I keep saying. When I talk about this, that's like the only thing, getting quads in my hands. Like the 3 7s and a deuce, I count me in. I'm still getting a good enough price. Yeah, nothing exciting anywhere, I think. Nothing out of the ordinary. This is a fold. Must be in the big blind, right? I didn't do anything stupid here while I was talking. No, I'm in the big blind. One of these set out or just joined. The seat was empty before, because otherwise, if I'm in that hand otherwise, then probably stop streaming for the night. Hamsterman says, I think with position you definitely should take a flop with King Queen Jack deuce double suited. Also the button, right? Okay. Taking that on board as well. Thanks. This is probably why I'm the sleeping guy at the table, according to Run It Once. Not saying they're wrong. You know what, actually I put this down on a text file, like the king, queen, jack, deuce, double suited, button. And it was folded to me, right? So it would have been an open. I checked it out. Thank you, I'll happily take your input on board. Awesome. Just a well of information. And folds 124 says, I think 2 minutes should be fine with the time banks on cache tablets being shorter. They are. Different 4 legs playing tourneys with longer banks. That is a good point. That's an excellent point. Who would you comfortable with? Winning poker's first priority is also a very good point, yeah. But I had thought about that. That Lex is a tournament player, isn't he? Like, exclusively? Pretty much. In his online presence, I mean. I know I've seen him at cash game tables plenty on YouTube. But at least I seem to remember reading a lot about him and playing tournaments in the more recent past, is the best way to put it. That is an excellent point, yeah. Tournament time banks are much longer. So, but I think the maximum time bank, like I read, is like 125 seconds or 120 on run at once. Like if you take into account all the regular tanking you can do on all the streets without activating the time bank. And right now I'm at like around 150-ish. I honestly don't know exactly. Somewhere in that area, a little bit north of 150. So let's just think this through a little. That would give me, like, assuming I have 155, 125, that's 25 to 30. That would give me 30 seconds total in the hand to think before my hand would potentially become visible in the like absolute worst case scenario on screen. I have to think about that a little. It's certainly a welcome insight. 30 seconds. That's tough. That's a tough one. Nothing out of the ordinary going on anywhere. I think I didn't like fold anything noteworthy, like on autopilot or anything. All is good. Waiting for hands. Being a bit of a dry spell right now. Yeah. But I mean, I had so many aces in that 15-minute stretch earlier. Be it far from me to complain. Maybe like if everybody folds and like the late the button or the small blind deciding to get in there. Might be a playable hand. Yep, 4 check. It's more than playable. And now I am going to lead with 1 spade. I think with no spades I would check. And I think that's a good like dividing line here. Just lead big for sure and get some money in there. If you can wake up the trucker guy. Nothing changes with that 5. Except for the, flush draw coming in. Flush draw appearing. They're gonna lead big. And there's more an excellent card. This guy didn't limp. Unless he limped like really bad kings, then I'm good here almost always. Should I bet? Maybe check, induce a bluff, maybe? I don't think I'm gonna get called by too much. I bet, so let's... Checking, inducing, and inducing might be a nice twist. Ah, that's too bad. He couldn't pull the trigger. Let's check out his hand if I was like on the right track that you wouldn't be able to call. Checking it out in a second. Yeah, Queen Jack 7-7. So we had a Jack. We could have pulled the trigger. Yeah. I think you would have called. The Queen, kicker. The way the hand went down, me betting twice. Wait, betting here, folding here. What's going on here? Didn't get to make up my mind. Was a bit slow. Let's talk in the section on the other tables. I'll get there. As in now. I think the amount of times I'll time out in these spots will go down pretty quickly. The more I stream, the more I play. I'm going to take it down right now, otherwise I'm done. More often than not, I'll just check it and give up. This time I'm gonna bet it for a change. No, I'm done, obviously. Ooh! I maced this again. We can take it down here, sometimes. Not this time. Hamsterman says, I do like how the PLO rake is pretty low, considering the splash pots, even at micro stakes. And yeah, me too. It's more than decent. It is more than decent. Because I mean, the micro stakes are usually so brutal when it comes to rake. And even on the few sites left that where you can get decent rake back deals, usually they're tiered, so you have to reach certain volume goals, points, which comes down to the same thing. Actually, interesting spot on here as well. Betting this one, this is not going to hit his range too hard, except the spades, but we do have the ace, which has to account for something. I'm going to bet full pot. I'm going to do this with a lot of my range here, I think. Wait, why didn't I bet here? I'm sorry, dudes, that I clicked the button, it didn't work. So now this guy called, leads into me. I have no choice but to give it up. It's a bit unfortunate. We have a blocker, but there's no point in getting creative here. Go down on this table. That was awesome. And Aw, that's a bad card. Let me think. This guy. Yeah. Even though the guy most likely to have a speed now is the small blind. I mean, he decided to stay in there, so it's not unlikely that he has a speed now. And so the flush draw, I feel like I think this is kind of close. Usually I fold this, I think. This time I'm going to call it. Expecting to have to give it up a lot or losing a lot. What happened there? He had a set of jacks. That was an odd moment for him to lead now. To bet. I mean, well, maybe not that odd. I checked. This guy checked. I checked. This guy probably would have been the most dangerous one, the most likely one to check raise. Definitely not me. But I mean, I had the flush outs were clean, which in hindsight is nice to know, but doesn't really make a difference in the moment. So either they are or they're not. Or they're not. And as I said, in almost all cases, I'm going to give this one up on a turn. Just want to switch gears a little. And have someone saying the microsticks rake on another side is brutal. You can read the other side on the chat. Yeah, that's not the only side the rake is brutal on, man. In the micros. I mean, we're getting fleeced as micro players. That's what's going on. That's what's going on down here. Race. Reason why I'm not mentioning the site is I'm not supposed to when I'm only streaming run at once tables. I'm not supposed to mention any other other poker sites, other third-party stuff, anything like that. Nothing to do but check and give up here. That's the sport. That's standard. Here. That's small. I think it's fine. Yeah, holding the absolute nuts. I'm Focus on the right table. Yeah, right, I am. Bigger now. Awesome, and the rare cases, so so it's not that often that you flop the nuts and they remain the nuts. Is what I'm trying to get at. Now I'm have to make it look potentially like a bluff. Hope for a crying call. He's not crying at all. He's very determined to push some money my way. He probably had a flush going there. Most likely the king I flush too. What was it? This was diamonds. Wow, he didn't. Oh, he couldn't have had the king I flush, could he? Talking nonsense. Yeah, we had the ace king. Never. Sorry about that. But having a high flush is what I would have expected him to have. To show up with. Let's see, the ace, king, jack, 5. So he had 3 pair by the river. Interesting. Interesting. So we're gonna play it dress up. Put him in a green shirt. Just so we know he's like, he likes to put chips in and he doesn't need to have the nuts when he does. And I liked it in a person I'm sitting at the table with. So let me check out this table up here. Tight aggressive, tight aggressive, tight passive, tight passive, tight passive. I'm gonna rotate this one out. I doubled up. I've been here a long time now. It's not like I'm hit and running. And although I'm starting to feel okay-ish about my full stack game. As you definitely know faults, as I keep saying. Not that hard on my deep stack game yet. Feel there's more potential for me to make a blunder. I'm gonna leave this table once the big blind comes around. Again, not really hit and running. I've been on this table for quite some time now. And it's been quite some time since I doubled up here. Raising this up for sure. Not a great hand by any means, but small blind against big blind, it's more than decent. This table I'm definitely not gonna leave. More than decent boards, still gonna bet big. Would have to have the 5-7, the 5-2 stable speed, the jack 6, any 2 pairs is pretty unlikely, unless like a 4-6, if he has like a 4-5-6-7 or type of hand. I still think betting is the way to go. Unfortunately, the table is getting short, and there's 2 sleepy dudes that I'm not keen on waking up. I don't want to wake them up with my snoring. So not looking to play short stacks. I'm gonna leave this table as well, rotate in a new one in a second. We could raise substantially too. There's definitely some draws you could be doing this with, but I mean, we're just gonna face so many tough spots on the river that I feel giving this one up is more than okay. It's the way this hand went down, I'm fine with, I feel. And we can get something going for our last hand on this table. Potentially. So the chat is now readable for you guys? I know folds you already confirmed as much. Just wanna curious if the rest of you have trouble reading it. So let me know. We flop a gutter, we still have the queens, spectral flush, and I can stop it right there because we're not gonna call for a pot size bet. I mean, like if you're feeling frisky, you can call, hope for like scare card to roll off a 9, an ace, and then with the trade blockers do something creative. But I don't see any need for that, and it's such a small part with a guy that's determined to get more money in. How much is that splash here? Let me go to full table. No, not closing the action. Out of position for the rest of the hand, that's fine. There's a decent splash going on down here. Let's hope no one raises. I mean, we have a crap hand, let's face it. But there's some nice money in the pot, BB wise. 20 BBs extra. We called it red holding. Why do you think I have such an elaborate excuse? Why do you think it took me 30 seconds to justify to leave there? I'm well aware of that. As you may or may not know, I played short stacks sort of semi-professionally. It wasn't my bread and butter, but it was either the bread or the butter for the better part of the last 14 months. And I'm well aware how it's called, and I'm even more aware how it's viewed. And I understand why that people don't like it. And I wasn't bad about it in the sense that I doubled up and set out immediately and left. But, you know, waited for the orbit. I didn't actually, I was, in my mind, that was like what made me feel better about it. So you can already tell that I don't know if I should say that I kind of felt bad about it. That I honestly don't know. But to not feel bad about it, what I did was I waited at least to the end of calling this for change. To the end of the orbit, till the big blind hit me again. And I didn't tighten up. I didn't wait for ace king suited. So in my mind, I always gave them like a chance to win it back. Which I'm sure didn't make it much better from their perspective. And had I been in their shoes, I would have hated it. For sure. But the reason why I did it in the first place wasn't because of... let me start this sentence anew. The reason why I did that was... Back then I was getting back into PLO like heavily. Back in the sense that I tried years ago and didn't really get to grips with the game at all. And so... Trying to get back into it, I played full stack 4 months at the lowest stakes, 1 2 cents, 2 4 cents. And played 100 BP poker, PLO. And then I checked out some training resources and stuff, and man, there's just so much to take in at Pot Limit Omaha. It's just such a complex game that when I learned that when playing short stack, you can cut down on that a lot, on the amount of stuff you need to know in order to feel comfortable and enough spots. That I jumped at the chance, quite honestly. I mean, the pre-flop is much more straightforward. Also, you don't have to keep that many hand ranges in mind. Because there's just so many you can't play it. And I was playing 30 BB specifically, so... I mean, you probably know how tight you have to play. And it cut down on the amount of stuff I had to learn, and I appreciated that fact a lot. So if this paper stays short, I was gonna say I'm gonna switch it out because of the stack size, just because I don't really need to play short-handed. But ignore all that, because there's a loose aggressive vampire to our right. They always look like vampires to me. Just with their teeth a little bit lower. These always look like teeth here. A little bit, like the edges of the collar. That's probably just me. You agree, Hamsterman. Short stackers are so annoying. They are so annoying. They are. They can mess up your, whole plan for a hand, and you have to adjust so much when playing against them, or at least you should. They are annoying. I'm very well aware of that. But, knocking on wood, hopefully these days are over for me now. Even though it means I have to work my way up again because the bankroll requirements, which was also nice about short stacking, the 30 BB, 100 big blinds for any given limit, 100 buy-ins for any given limit, is a whole different ballgame. It is literally less than 1/3 what you would otherwise need. I get raised here. This one I'm gonna call. I'm not gonna be in terrible shape, I feel. Especially if you plan on flopping the top two. I'm gonna check to the master, to the racer over here. No, don't know. I have no idea if I just said master. So didn't mean to sound condescending. Checking again. I think it's fine. Awesome. Not playing passively anymore. I mean, I got my wish. And maybe I can find a call with, yes, ace queen or something, or just any queen. Basically, I'm gonna stop there. It's gonna call more often than not. Yeah, he folds. Wasn't too likely that anything else would happen. So yeah, that was also another big deal, or big part of my decision to do the short stacking thing for a while. But in the past month, it's not only that I ran under EV massively, especially whenever I moved up, which is awesome. Okay, let's, get this done like well enough to move up. You have the money to move up, and then you can just get beat down by the cards, not even by your own hands, by your own doing. Oh well. No use to complain about that. Calling this not a great hand by any means. I guess one guy. Checking here. We're betting small now. Do I have to? I don't really have to, but I want to. Foles is saying, Jane Ellis was talking about short stacking earlier, says he doesn't advise it below PLO 100 because of the rake. That is a very excellent point, and it is true for almost all the sites, even for the network I'm thinking of right now. Why did I check here now? So we kind of did this on autopilot. That's an excellent point. It was a bit different in my case because, and that's where I made the most of my money as well, to be honest. I had a very decent rakeback deal on a small network. I'm someone saying, yeah, the only times it works well, assuming assume you mean short stacking, is when you can get a ton of that money in the pot pre and get it heads up all in. If only short stackers were smart enough, I try to manipulate it so they can re-raise all in and they just call with half the stack behind. Yeah, in that case, they're gonna, if you are head range wise or flop well, you're just gonna have to call you off. Certainly not a bad scenario. But correct me if I'm wrong here, if you're saying that the only time it works well, I mean it being short stacking, is when you can get a ton of that money, and I do disagree there. It's just that your post-flop situations are gonna be so straightforward, and you still can put some pressure on mostly, or a lot of times, especially in heads-up or three-way situations. And also, you can't make any mistakes anymore. You go all in or go mostly all in. Also saying short second would be great with splash pots, probably why Phil Gelfand doesn't allow it. Amsterman agrees, and he says that Jane Ellis, I assume, mentioned that. Completely agree. Hadn't thought of it earlier. Read it on Reddit. Like yesterday, and I hadn't thought of that, and I'm convinced that's the reason. You have just such an insane advantage when you're short stack. I mean, you're not advantage in the sense of equity, just pure monetary terms. I mean, damn it, that was the bug there with I didn't mean to min raise. I never mean to min raise. There's a bug there going on. Sometimes you put in the raise size and then it changes again once you move the mouse to the raise button. Just led to some funny situations in past streams for sure. Like a min raise, the min bet, and things like that without meaning to at all. Yeah, but the short stacking and the splash pots. I mean, yeah, you don't need to cover the others to win the splash. You just need to have the best hand in showdown. If you have to risk less than all the others, like only a third of the stack than everyone else is doing, and I mean everyone's gonna go all in. If the splash is decent enough, and it's an insane. It's a big advantage, I would feel. And you're right. I'm sure you're right. That has to be a reason that, or part of the reason, at least, that he doesn't allow it. I would assume the other part is that it's just straight up nasty for the ecosystem, sort of. Here I'm definitely raising. That would be way too nitty. Not really looking to get 3-bet, which we won't. We aren't, and it's all good. There's still quite a lot of folding going on in small blind versus big blind situations where you can just take the big blind. I'm not used to that from other sites I've been playing on. And it's still peculiar and noteworthy. It's 10 cents, but it's one big blind, and those add up. This table filled back up again. We still lose aggressive to our right and the green shirt to our left. It's not afraid to put chips in, even on marginal holdings. Which means he's gonna, more often than other players, he's gonna draw out on us more often than other players simply because he's gonna remain in the hand more often than other players, but that's fine. Oh, Hamsterman is saying regarding what I was saying earlier, regarding what he was saying earlier. Couldn't see it in the chat, and I have to repeat it all. He meant in the high break environment. I understand. Now I got you. Yeah, yep. No doubt about it. It's just that in relation, you're rarely gonna be able to exceed the rake cap, so you're always gonna pay maximum rake when you short stack. Do I want to do this here? Probably not. Being suited to the 10, not on the button. A bit too thin, I feel. And he says, I get it can generally work, but you're going to want a lot of dead money in the pot if you're gonna do it in the micros. Again, because of the rake, most likely. Yeah, agreed. I played up to. I play up to like €1, €2, I think was the. Might have been a few hands I played one level up. Might have been. I'm honestly not sure, which is kind of embarrassing. And I kind of got settled at 50 cents, €1 in the end, and played 1-2 when the tables were awesome. When there were people on the tables that you definitely wanted to play against. Those are the people like when you're drunk and you happen to see on your computer that there's a nice game going on. Didn't fancy playing at all. You just slap yourself all over and take a cold shower just because you have to play against that person. I'm not saying I ever did that. And I never have. I'm just trying to make that point. Nice. Something happening. Potentially. There's potential there. Unfortunately, it gets folded to us. Would have preferred to, re-raise. Naturally. And what do you know? Flop couldn't be nastier. Not much, anyway. Trying to take it down. It's okay, I think. Not gonna work all that often, but it doesn't need to. Ooh. I'll watch him fold. Which I'm not gonna be mad about. He doesn't, and that's an interesting flop. Pot is small. I'm still gonna bet. I was thinking if there's any merit and maybe just checking for now. I think betting is okay. Also saying in the micros, short stacking, you hit the rake cap too often, hence the need for that money. Yeah, am I understanding this right? In the micros, short stacking, rake cap too. It's the need. Yep. Hey, Chowser. Thanks for dropping back in. Good to see you. as you can see, I'm doing what I've been doing all these days. I mean, glad to have some company and playing micro PLO. Hang on there, I'll tell you in a second. Actually, I can go back to this. I got aces here, which is awesome. I got kings here, which is awesomer. Get min raise. They're always mystifying min raise. I'll tell you in a second, Chaucer. Just want to concentrate on this. So here, it's not a no-brainer. Here, bit big as well. Do you have any backdoors to speak of? Took it down pre-flop with the aces. Down here. Just want to keep my head in the hand for a few seconds. Hang on. He's in a tank. This can't be bad news. Nice, and we take it down. That's awesome. Very happy with that result. So, Chaucer, what's your screen resolution, you ask? I am running on a 28-inch, pretty old screen, which is not the resolution I'm aware. It's a what is it, 1920, and but it's not the usual full HD. It's 1920 times 1200, so it's a 16 to 10 picture format, which you have a hard time getting these days. Very unfortunately so. Like, these panels are just not being made that often anymore, if at all. I want to see. I'm in the market for a new screen at some point in the nearer future, like next couple of months. Then I'll probably get, thinking about a 43-inch 4K, just because the smaller 4Ks, smaller than 43-inch, from what I've been reading, what's it called? Not the printing. I'm missing the word. I can't come up with the word. The fonts. That's that's it. Are just so small that you have to either go like this all the time, or have to use scaling in Windows, which is even on Windows 10 not perfect, I hear. And I'd like to avoid this whole scaling deal, and I'm not really sure I want a 43-inch screen on my desk, to be honest. It seems a bit much. But if it works, I'm gonna buy it online so I can send it back if it doesn't work out. And that's what I'm looking to upgrade to. So on this screen, what kind of screen size do you have, Chaucer? You can't fit 4 tables on the screen. By the way, they are working on being able to resize. Oh, sorry, I have 2 pair here. No brainer, continue. They're working on being able to resize the screen. So, can't really catch up with the chat just yet. Things going on. This is interesting. I have to call one. I think I'm gonna check here. The other option would be to bet really big with having the blockers to the nuts right now. And hope he checks a bet small so we can utilize them on the river when, he has like a really good hand, like a set or something. We can utilize them. On the turn, he's maybe wants decides to call, even if he's not getting the right price with a set here. He calls, unfortunately, which is bad news for sure. He did have that set, okay, and he decided to call, which makes sense from his point of view a lot when I check the turn. Kind of an interesting spot there all around. So now I have a hard time catching up to the chat today. You guys are very active. Awesome. Hamsterman, continuing on the short stacking issue. I mean, hitting the rake cap is generally a good thing. The problem is you want to go way over it for it to be good. Yeah, I agreed. Once you hit the rake cap, I mean, the rest of the money is not being raked anymore. That's getting put in. Yeah, correct. And of course, and hitting the rake cap consistently, just hitting it, you're always paying the highest rake percentage. Exactly. That's the long and short of it. That's what kills your win rate in the micros. Yeah, and he's saying, whoops, I meant just barely hitting the rake consistently, which I figured you meant. My nightbot's getting to work. I apologize that it spams like 2 things in a row. I'm not that kind of guy that does that on purpose. I'll tell it to do otherwise. Actually, I can do that on the side. Hamsterman. Edgehauser, you again. Just saying hi. What did I do last time? He's asking. What is this in reference to? I drawn a blank now. And he's saying, oh, that's why then. I just have a, oh, regarding the resolution now. I just have a 1080p one. Not very big. My computer's good, but the screen is small. I see, but right, those are the pixels that are missing. If I check it on my screen now, like you should have, like in the width, they should fit, but not in the height, right? I assume there should be like a little bit missing, and that's where those 180 extra pixels I'm having come in handy. And you have a 20-inch or something. Yeah, it's basically what I have. I think mine was sold to me as a 28-inch. And look at the manual, it says it's a 27.5. So take your pick. So I'm saying it's not bigger than yours. Pretty much the same size. Someone says, I would have bet small and gem the river. I think now a bluff looks weird. Yeah, I got to that point myself. It's awesome you saying that. It's awesome to hear you say that. I can only agree. You're right. It looks weird. It looked like a bluff. And I deserved losing there. Than the way I played it. Thanks for the input. This is awesome. I found out I can add more mana to the table. I thought that wasn't possible individually on tables. Just if I set with the auto top up. Sorry for that cough. Definitely raising for sure. And thinking more about it, apparently Hepsman says, then again, when he bets big on the flop, he's talking about the hand back here on the table I just topped up. When he bets big on the flop, the SPR is kind of low to the point where I don't think he's folding. Yeah. Hang on, I'm raising this. I timed out here, I'm sorry guys. Not the guys on the table, I mean nominally. I'm calling closing action, that's fine. Definitely bluffing now. Checking. Didn't mean to take that long. I to catch up on what was going on at the tables, wrap my head around it. I have to sit out on this one. Not have to sit out, I have to close this one. Because the buck is hitting me again, I can't sit back in. No big deal. Just close it, open another one. And it's all good. So if you were saying earlier, like with the King, Queen, Jack, deuce hand, I could have opened on the button, then let me know if, like, in your opinion, this is fine then now. Because sometimes, or a decent amount of time with the 5 in there, my instinct would be to fold, and I would feel a bit nitty about it, but not... I would also feel it's not a big mistake, but let me know. I'm definitely calling a position, being double suited, all that good stuff. He's saying YOLO, and that means probably has quad deuces. Not doing anything here, not being suited to the ace, even though I'm closing the action. That's fine, would be very bad, confused on this flop. Checking here, never doing anything but folding, he has it for sure. Not talk about the flush, I mean, he has a good hand. If he's YOLOing it up, that has to be a level. Yeah, watch him. That's like half pot. Which is exactly what he does. And he has the aces here all the time in my mind. I might be way off, but I think that's exactly what is going on. The YOLOing. From the ZZ Top guy, huh? The sleepy dude. Yeah. So, Hamsterman, I love what you said about that pot. I like that analysis. I have nothing to add. That's I appreciate that. Taught me something for sure. Here, definitely calling. I'm out of position. Blocking ace king, that's always nice. But that's not a bad board. I don't know, having nut flush draw. 2 overs to the board. Afraid of flaws at all. There's a queen, we're in very good shape. If she raises now, that would be a spot right there. So queen jack would be something to consider, but I'm blocking jacks, so I'm going for value again, otherwise might find a check in me myself. Probably never like folding here for the smaller pot. If she raises, I'm gonna puke a little. But she doesn't, and I won't, and it's good. Taking it down. Yeah, I've been doing on this this session. Get him up a little. Pretty much unchanged. Actually, in this session I'm up like a little more than the buy-in, I believe. But for the day I'm pretty much breaking even, like up 20 BBs. But again, there was like 400. Well, there's like at least 4 or 5 pots where we got it all in. I got it in either good or very good, and just got run out on. And I'm not mad. I don't mind. Here, he's sitting out, so I was just in a big blind, right? That's all good. Under he checks, I'm gonna bet. I was gonna say big, but it's a small pot. In relation to the pot, I guess it's still big. Just not in absolute terms. And obviously, digging that river. A bit smaller to give him a chance to call with a king, I think is the way to go here. Not get greedy. I think that's a good approach. Wait, I'm having the right table beyond. Now he raises, and that puts me in kind of a spot. I'm gonna call, I think. Wait. Oh, he had a full house, didn't he? Yeah, I mean, it's probably a good question to think about how often am I good there when I call. Like, not really being results oriented, just in general, I'm wondering. The board. King 3, 6, 8. 8, 2 pair. Did he have a flush draw? Definitely raising this. I think it's not. Can't be horrible. Hang on. Yeah. Still raise fold, I think. Like if he comes over the top now, I'm done with the hand. I think that's a valid approach. Interesting spot. Lost on this one. Oh, obviously I'm starting to like it a little bit more, especially if he checks again. She doesn't, and now it's all kinds of weird. I'm gonna fold this for a full pot size bet. I think that is, I'm more often than not, I'm like dead here. Like at least drawing to one out, I think. Doesn't have to full house or flush draws, not to the nuts, and I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Raising, maybe raise folding down there. Gutter, not flush draw. I'm gonna get raised off this hand, but actually if he raises I'm getting it in. What am I talking about? Because we had now have the second gutter, the overcards, a lot of good things happening. I'm still looking to get money in here. So betting small down here with a lot of my range, if not all. We take it down on this table, which is awesome. Still have the hand history up. I still wanna go back to that spot for a second. Betting big here now is what I would do with all my value hands. Do have outs, and he's very rarely gonna show up with a full house here. Like, not, we could very rarely be in a situation where we're drawing that, is what I'm saying. Now he raises, kind of iffy. I think, like, if I was to call, I would do it with a hand where I only have 2 clubs. I think that's also a good divider here to decide what I should do. I think that's alright. Limping? Raising? Raise and raise folding is the way to go, I believe. Yeah, especially now if somebody raises the field, or what is shaping up to be a field potentially. He's on the button. I'm definitely gonna have more aces than he has. He calls. I'm obviously done with the hand unless a miracle card rolls off. I think that's fine. Now where is that hand history? Alright, so he had the 8. Do you have spades, this guy? Didn't. Take it down on top right, by the way, with a very tiny pot. The 8? I was betting the whole time, right? Check the flop. Okay, then I bet when he had 2 pair. Sense. Let's say with the full house. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Didn't bet the flop. Stick aggressor in his hand. No one was. Was it a limp pot? Yeah, it was. Oh, okay, okay. Now I'm caught up on that. It all makes sense now. Like the way it went down. So yeah, there are some full houses in his range. Like exactly one he has. If he has an 8, he's very likely to have cards around it, or at least not unlikely. Like have a 7, a 6, a 9. I didn't consider that at all. Very interesting. We're gonna read that hand out. Look at it again later. So splash pot, I was on the button. Yeah, acted on autopilot a bit here. Wasn't a great hand by any means, but there was some splashing going on. So, down here, definitely not our flop. That is for sure. This out of the way. I think bluffing is okay. Bet folding. Take it down. Jeez, all kinds of nice. Just copying out the tent. Look at it later again. Okay. Back to the present. Need to do anything here, but check. Okay, get a gutter according to the in addition to the small flush draw we have. Holding this, not being suited to the ace. To remove from the button. Standard, I fear. Good luck, this guy is saying. Curious if he... Okay, he does raise. He does call. I won't. That's fine. I don't think the flush is good nearly often enough here to justify a call. Besides the flush, the only thing we had gone on would be the gutter. Really, flush was good, huh? That happens just so rarely in this spot, I believe. Like, I think it was a pot-sized bet to call. That's all good. No regrets. Right. Let's get some more cards. Get into some more interesting spots. Plenty of interesting spots to go around the past 15-20 minutes, I feel. Small splash. Sorry about that. Oh, I actually did flop. Damn it. No, I am caught up to the present again. I didn't realize I had trips here, which is could only be due to the fact that I've been streaming for a long time already today. I'm not tired yet. Still think I can play at least my A- game. Oh, B+, possibly. But if I feel that I'm slipping, then I'm just gonna call it a night. Plenty of other nights to come. Not quite there yet, though. This one I'm gonna limp because I can maybe call a raise if it's just gonna be heads up and I end up in position. Not sure if that train of thought makes sense, to be honest. Not gonna be of any relevance because we get to see the flop for 10 cents. Flopping to pair, no backdoors to speak of, no blockers to speak of, really. Like none in both cases. Actually, tell I do have the backdoor second nut flush draw. They all check. If I had one spade in my hand, I would probably bet big. I think that's a good way of going about it in the spot. I'm just gonna check behind. Make the third pair. Gonna happen here. Again, same story and same reasoning as on the turn flop. 7 sucks, because if we were ahead until now, there's so much more likely to be not anymore. But it's a small pot, so. Checky, checky. What do you, Richard? Checks as well, see no reason to do anything but check. And looks like is that straight? No. You got it. Oh. Them aces make an appearance. And we get to put more money in. Always exciting. It's a greedy teeth guy. Not gritty. Gritted. I can't really tell if they're dirty. Oof. That doesn't look like it's our flop. Checking for start. That smaller is okay. That's a bluff. Obviously. That's just what he was waiting for. I think the next few spots I come across this, I remember there was one earlier that was just like it and I bet as well. Don't remember if I got punished for it. But that doesn't matter, just next time I come across it I'll switch gears and remain on the tighter side of things. For a while. So I can never tell, like, I can only see how many viewers on the stream. I can never tell if who exactly is there. In case some of you are here for the first time and are looking to check out Run Once Poker, if you have any questions about it, let me know. I'll be happy to answer. If not, or you're just passing through, then, you know, do that. Relax, watch the stream, or move on to another one that you might find more to your liking. Plenty of us streamers to go around all of a sudden on Run Once Poker. That is for sure. That's okay, that's a standard fold, I think. YOLO, yeah. In a YOLO mode as well myself. Experiencing rapid mood change now. Let's see. Is there any... might be overthinking this. Usually I'm folding this one. I said I was gonna stay on the tighter side of things, but I was talking about post-flop specifically. So... I think it's okay. It's not terrible. That call. I mean, he's the loose aggressive dude, so it's not like he has us crushed like on the regular here. Naturally, we're giving it up. I think it's defensible, the call. Can be defended. Can be justified, is a better word. I don't think I missed any spots yet, like spots where I was too tight pre-flop, where I should have called, should have raised, should have done something different but fold. Stream has already been going on for almost 2 hours at this point. Just surprising to me, it doesn't feel that long at all. Nothing on the exciting on the horizon just yet. Fold this one for sure. Standard, I'm sure. Even though we would be heads up, we were out of position with a really crappy hand, I don't know. Nothing noteworthy. See what happens here in this table. Get to raise it. Yeah, but against this guy I'm gonna limp it. I think there's some room for limping in the small and big blind dynamic. No reason to get fancy. Just a tiny pot. He's not gonna be intimidated if I, go for it. Charles is saying, I still can't read PLO at all. I'm assuming the other word in between, like can't rant read, it's just a mistype, just a typo. If you're saying I still can't read PLO at all, what do you mean? Like reading the board at a more or less a glance, or figuring out what hand you have on a glance? If so, then it does take a while. On the this is kind of frisky here. Didn't really mean to do that. These feet not getting raised. Let's see if something good happens on the flop. It's not impossible. Have the right table and focus. Yeah, I do. I mean, it's not a terrible flop. Like, not the worst flop. We have to assume we're that, but we're four-handed. We can control the size of the pot and the action a little bit by acting last. I mean, we do have a gutter. No, we don't. Okay, no, if he calls, I don't have to think about what to do. Yeah, so if that's what you're getting at, Chaucer, what I just said, then I understand the side I started on more than a year ago. It had that feature where it told you what your hand was down there. I mean, and I found it incredibly useful. Like the big sites do it too. I think all of them, and I've been relying on that for a long time. It's not that I didn't know, but it's just hard. It is hard. There's so many new things you have to learn, to keep track of, to pay attention to that are going on. And this is one of those. And it's not making life easier on you, that pot limit Omaha game. But it's not making life easy on anyone else, and I guess that's why it's called the Great Game. Because it is a great game. As in, there's always room to make profit, because you obviously gonna have people coming in that would like to gamble it up and basically don't mind figuring everything out to a T, which is, in the strictest sense, impossible in this game. Not limit hold'em where you can, have a pretty perfect approach with a lot of studying these days. Raising here. Sure, the aces make a reappearance. Calling here is fine in position for sure. Deep stacked. Yeah, not deep stacked, like almost full stacked, which I'm not. I'm just realizing. I mean, here I'm gonna check just because I'm either behind or not afraid of any turn. There's one. There is one. There is one turn that I wouldn't like. It's this one. So, oh man, this blows all kinds of ways. I have to give it up now. It makes it less likely that he has a full house, but if he does have trips, like if I'm not waiting for the ace, I'm waiting to make a straight. All the straightening cards don't make it pretty likely that he does get a full house, assuming he is here, assuming he's not bluffing. Okay, that was pretty funny. But as a compensation, we get the kings and get some get to re-raise. Get the ace there, so I'm getting it in at GBVs for sure, if I have to, if I can. And Joseph says he meant hand read. Yeah, I should have figured it out. Not that you're saying it in hindsight. It seems obvious. It's not that the whole word is wrong. Just the R should have been an H. They're kind of close to each other. It's a little bit dicey, although it should be straightforward, seeing that I have not that much money left. I think going in can't be horrible. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? I can't ever fold in this drawing. Not that, because he has a gutter and a nut flush draw, and he gets there, that's alright. Nothing to get upset about. And read. Oh, you mean, now that I think about it again, you're not talking about reading your own hands on the board, you mean reading other people's hands. I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong. There's some poker games I haven't played or don't know the rules, like a lot of that I have played and don't know the rules too well of. But I feel Parliament Hold'em, Parliament Omaha, is among the harder or hardest to hand read in the beginning. And it remains hard. So in Limit Hold'em, I got really good at it. Like not world class, but I'm not afraid to say, I like my hand reading skills in Limit Hold'em. I knew what I was up against quite a lot. With a good degree of confidence. But in Parliament Omaha, I mean, I had some very nice reads on the stream. One of them actually I don't have on the stream because I had my mic muted, but there was a situation where I did something and the guy, and I was like, if he has, I'm only doing this because it's the way he played it, he has this specific hand. Like more often than not instead of the other one and the other ones, and this way I can get the most money out of him. It's the exact situation I can't quite recall. It's like top set and some situation like that. What am I doing? 300. I still can call this 300, I think. I'm sorry I timed out here. I think I had a decent hand too. I'm kind of caught up in my story. And long story short, I was I was on the dot. And I made the maximum amount of money in that hand the way I played it. That was pretty awesome. But not trying to toot my own horn. That was just an example of where I got it right. More often than not, I don't, I think. So I know what hand you're talking about, the one with the king, queen, with the queen on the turn we had down here just now when I had the aces. Ooh, nice, hang on. Very nice. Come on, you raise it up and push this guy out, that's awesome. Hopefully the other, nah, he's not gonna go out. But I still am eligible to triple up, although all the aces are gone now. I think I have it. Yeah, I have it. It's the animation being wrong. It's screwing my perception over. Oh, this one this spot I feel I'm too tight maybe, but I'm gonna call it this time. You let me know what you would do here. Folding this is too tight. Definitely folding this one. Folding this one down there. There was some extra money in there, and it's not a great hand by any means. I'm fully aware of that. I have to fold, no brainer. Here. Can I raise here? Don't have a queen. Really looking to get it in just yet. Calling is fine. How about this spot? Post flop, I'm gonna remain on the tighter side of things for a while, as I said a little bit earlier. So I'm sticking to the plan. That kind of a dumb spot. Harder for him to have full house on that board. Yes, it is, but for sure. But I felt there's a decent chance, at least, for him to have trips, which I would, in a vacuum by itself, do decent against. This one closing the action, I'm gonna call. Not excited about it at all. Unless, you know, something changes, my excitement reaches a whole another level all of a sudden. Just have no chance to talk about that hand, Chaucer. Stick with me. We know I'm getting it in. If he has aces, he has aces, and so be it. It's not unlikely, especially he's very tight, but... Can I get away from this? Can I get away from this? And sleep better tonight? I think I can, but I'm not gonna. I think this fold is in the realm of my folding capabilities, but possibly I was just giving bad advice to myself, or just talking stupid. But it's also possible that it's not, because we folded and we took it down is what matters. But I think there's an argument to be made here for folding for sure against certain people. He, without having too much information, just knowing that he's very tight, certainly qualifies. So just says the animation screwed me up with the three-way all-in up here. Me too. I was like trying to figure it out, like who is, why, what? I'm calling this one down here. I'm expecting to get into a few very interesting spots potentially, this not being one of them, which is fine. Doesn't makes it easy on us. So finally back to the hand. Right. So I was saying, like in a vacuum, like even if he has if you assume that he has one of these two cards, he has trips now. He still have decent outs, more than enough. But in reality, if he has one of them, he's gonna have like more. Pretty often, he's gonna have a Jack or 9 or 10, and like one of the cards I would need to make a straight, excluding the ace, which would give me the nuts, making me the top full house. And so I felt it's an okay fold, even against the half bet pot, the way the hand went down. Just thinking about it a little more, that would be my rationalization. I mean, it's not a bad spot for him to bluff in. So now the question is he bluffing here often enough? If he has one, even if he doesn't have to, he's not, I'm not talking about him having to full house, just trips. Yeah. And Charles is also saying, regarding the hand reading, I suck at both, to be honest. Yeah. As I said, at the one I sucked for quite a while. Like, why am I not taking a straight here? I have those. Aha. I was relying on the little infographic on the right side, telling me what I have. Hang on, should go back into 4-table mode. And the hand reading, it comes with time and with watching streams. And I'm not claiming to be necessarily even better than average or something like that. I honestly don't know. I'm good at hand reading in PLO yet. I have no opinion on the matter. Wait, that was alright. That was alright. Yeah, just making sure I'm not playing on autopilot. Holding this for sure. Fine. So I know we doubled up here. We lost basically a buy-in. We did lose a buy-in at another table, and I'm breaking even to the dot for today. Also saying I would raise the ace jack 10 deuce double suited pre. I don't like giving the players behind me a good price. You block aces, which is a good point. So probably on getting forward and get to play post in position IMO. That is an excellent point, but I'm not quite remembering the hand. I have to. Wait, I think it's on here. So that's. Find that hand. Check 10 deuce. That was. Oh, I didn't. I only read the bottom line of you saying hand reading skill 3.5 of 10. I thought you meant my hand reading skill, and I was like, you know, that's probably fair. And at least I was gonna say that means I have room to improve. But you said before that you said, oh, I thought you had straight on the king, queen, queen board. He's saying hand reading skill in regards to that hand and his. I get it. And Folds helpfully chimes in saying you can't have a straight in that hand, which I'm sure Charles will realize by now, but it's still helpful. And yes, yeah, I understand. Every once in a while it happens to me. Like I go like, why the hell didn't I win this hand? I hit the, and then I go, I have to, well, it still happens to me. Rarely, to be honest, but it does happen. Like I couldn't quantify it how often, but often enough that it's, I sit there afterwards and I'm like, man, this was embarrassing. Good thing I'm not a streamer, is what I would have thought for a long, long time. Ooh, I hear him scratching. Time to let that cat in again. Sorry about the noise. It looks like we get some hands. Okay, gets a re-raise, that's easy. That's also easy. That is also easy. Here, it's a four-way pot. I'm just gonna check it. That's more than cool. The real SOS on the stream. Hi Ollie, saying awesome to have you. Once more. Welcome back. We certainly had our share of very interesting spots in the last hour. Calling here didn't need to take that long. Ooh. It's like bittersweet. I mean, there's only one straight. And there's two hands that beat us. What I'm saying. Here, where I raised time. I'll come back to that in a second. This guy isn't deep. This guy is deep, so that's slightly worrying. I still think I'm gonna go all in. I have decent. I hope if this guy has jacks, I'm gonna bad spot. I think this is the way to go. Calling is just putting me into all sort of stupid spots. We get there, stay there. Now what am I doing here? I'm raising it actually. So there's some conversations about bodily functions going on in the chat. Which not gonna touch right now. But Chauzo apparently was scared of something. Let's put it like that. He was shitting himself. I just can be blunt. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Probably something that just went down. And he says, I wouldn't play you, heads up. Are you talking about me? That's, I'm gonna take that at face value. I would, well, not I would play me heads up, because then, you know, I would be like playing solitaire against myself. I would know exactly who I'm up against. But I don't think I'm a good heads up player at all. I'm I have no idea. I've just been thinking. I have no idea if I'm a good 100 BB player yet. If I'm not, I'll get there, and that's the whole purpose of, not to be poetic about it, but do I have a mic on? Of this journey. Oh, the stream, the 100 BB adventure, and all that jazz. Calling this with the extra money. So Joseph says, I feel like that violates the terms of service. I asked about that, like in the chat, like, because it does actually. Not supposed to use too bad a language, but I asked, like, if sometimes something slips out, is that okay? And they were like, yeah, don't worry. I was like, phew, load off my mind, because PLO makes you say things every once in a while. Actually, we got a fold here when we raised on this table a little bit earlier. That was awesome. I'm calling this one for sure. 2 pair, got our top 2, got our backdoor flush. It's all good. I get 3 pairs. But this guy does. If he checks, I'm gonna bet for sure, I think, large. So SOS is still planning his stream. Now I'm gonna fold, easy peasy. Easy peasy, easy peasy, yeah, sure. SOS is saying, when I stream, I'm gonna have shady Somalian guys doing drugs and partying in the background. Who's that antivirus guy? It feels like you're talking about a video from that antivirus guy. McAfee? Yeah, that's him. It feels like you're quoting McAfee's life. And SOS is kind enough to say, good luck, buddy. Hope you do well at Tears. Thank you, I appreciate it. Can always use that. I do too. Charles is saying, that would be terrible for me. I would just want to party. Oh, that. I understand. Again, another slightly interesting spot. We close into action. Not great ahead, but we're still calling with the extra money. I think is okay. Not a huge amount, but still. Also a spot coming up. Done with this hand at this point. This guy is not afraid to put money in at all, huh? Just gonna... Actually, it's not a... He's blue. He likes to put money in. We don't know if he's... super careless about it. Charles, I've been streaming for a while. Becoming, for me, increasingly harder for me to understand language at this point, apparently. So you're saying, shitting on myself in reference to hand reading. I should just suck at typing with just a lot of my mind, so it's not all on my end. If you saw that, it was a quick appearance by Boris the cat right there. Gonna bet on the bigger end here. This is a very dry board. I said Boris, Garfield the cat. Boris was my previous cat, and I still miss that cat. But now I have Garfield, and it's good in that regard. Take it down on this table, which I didn't have in focus. I'm sorry about that. I feel that's like the first time I messed it up completely. Just closing my door. Garfield decided to hang out with us in his basket. That's awesome. Now I did it. I was talking, didn't have the mic enabled. Oh well. You saw the action. It's kind of unfortunate that we lost on here, but what can you do? We got it in good. That's all that matters at the end of the day. And double up on table 1. Erasing. Gonna go for a short smoke break fairly soon. I feel that's like a good move. The streaming does help in that regard. I've been trying to cut down and, using the electronic cigarette, giving up the smoking lately. And I'm slowly getting there. But the streaming is great in that regard. The 3-hour stream, you just can't go smoke. I like it. Charles, are you saying, so having the pseudo days is pretty important in general? Of course. Especially, like heads up, it's a different story. Not necessarily playing heads up, just playing a two-handed part. And the more people you get in, very quickly it rises to its very important component of your hand. For the simple reason that, if you heads up and you do flop that flush draw, which is at least flopping the flush draw or getting a flush draw at some point in the hand, happens often enough for it to be an important point to consider. In a multiplayer part, it's so tough if it's not a nut flush draw you're having, especially if a lot of people decide to stick around in the hand. And I've gotten into a lot of trouble with that in multiplayer parts specifically in the past. So yes, I'm definitely eagerly awaiting that YouTube stream of yours. It is gonna be awesome. And count me in as your follower from day one. For sure. Just answering on Twitch real quick. Work for that. You have the 4 tables in view? Yeah, okay, fine. At the risk of repeating myself yet again, thank you guys very much for keeping me company once more. It is nice. It's a nice little relaxed stream. Actually, I'm gonna do something about those 2 chatbots so they don't spam at the same time. That would annoy the heck out of me, personally. What's it? Site caller? Bookmarked. Right, the Nightbot. The Nightbot. Before the Germans get there. In case you watched Natch. If you haven't, you should. The timers, I think, is the one I'm looking for. Wait, no, not delete, edit. It's fine. Wait. Ooh, would you look at that? Falling down here. Now, this might be a spot to get frisky. And I'm gonna do it. Absolutely not my standard move here. But so often somebody likes his hand enough that they raise, and I would love that to happen. We can still lose it, I mean, but it's nice when a plan works, ain't it? Did I have the right table and focus? I think I do. How about them apples? We get to put a lot of money in with the nuts right now. The absolute model nuts. See what's happening. Got the set, which is awesome. Let's see, do we get run out on that? I think so, right? Oh man, that was perfection. That was perfection. I'll check out what hands they did that with in a second. How nice was that? Insert diabolical laugh here. Alright, done with tweaking the chatbots. Okay, back to the for table view. Let's check out the hands they had. So ace queen, 6 deuce suited to the queen, single suited, not double suited actually. Tell a lie. And 5 6 8 8, also double suited. Who raised? That was Darren, right? And Darren did it with the ace queen 6 deuce. That's very good to know. That is also very good to know. I think nothing to do, but if I bet I'm either in bad shape or not too often, I'm not worried about that, but I'm more worried about everyone folding. Dang. I want to get some money in there. Especially once I make the full house. Wait, 10 was it? Move that out of the way. It's supposed to be here. Hey, one guy, two guy called it is awesome. I don't think the ace changes too much too often. Interesting spot. I think that's an okay squeeze. It's by no means absolutely necessary, I feel. What am I gonna do here? I think I'm gonna go a decent sized bet. All the aces have to call now. And we're good, I'm like always given the action. And we are, and this is shaping up to be interesting. We're not deep against anyone, effectively. Also nice hand up coming up here again. Isn't the kings under the table? Got folded to me. What do I do here? There's something to be said for about checking here in position. I'm glad to see you getting excited about that spot as well. Wait, why did I check this one? That was not my intention. Too caught up on the other hand. Yeah, now I'm betting big for sure. 5's not likely to have helped anyone. Get one fold is nice. We already know it's not gonna be a three-way. Not gonna take it to the river three ways. And any other ace, a rose by any other name. That's I just assuming now that this is hoping, not assuming, that this is a misclick. Okay, so boom says Chaucer, holy crap, that worked. Fools agree, you agree with the BAM. Yeah, that was quite something. Oh man. I didn't mean to go few. Yeah, that was awesome. Am I super deep here? I am super deep on both tables. I mean, effectively. So this guy obviously isn't mad. Um, I will raise this one. That is, if not standard, then definitely not a bad move. Not saying it's not standard, saying it very well might be, and I don't know. You don't get 3-bet, which is a lot of my mind immediately. Checking's okay out of position. I'm betting for sure, betting big. Yeah, that was a good spot. Let's see how what it did to the daily results so far. He decides to be sticky, which is very well within his rights. And unfortunately, I have to give it up. Got into a bit of a spot up here. Now I expect to be good, given the action he bet into me on the flop on that board. So I decided to stick around. Hey, what do you know? Now we are up 4 buy-ins. Not gonna add to them on this table, this hand. Yeah, just smiling about the situation. Table still. That's too weak. In position, yeah, there's big stack behind us. I could see some horrible scenarios developing there. Right, so I think I'm definitely not hit and running anywhere. But I'm gonna instead choose this moment to go on a short cigarette break. Checking. Fold, I think. We have a gutter, we have 2 gutters. Still checking, I would hate to get raised off it. I think that's a valid way of looking at it. No, we just go for broke and bet lots and lots and lots of cents. Basically is what comes out. He folds, which he does most of the time there. That's cool. I like the holy crap that worked comment. Fills my heart with joy. Just a little bit. Mute the mic so you don't have to hear me rolling like the crinkling, the plastic noises for tobacco and all that. And here I am talking. Anyway, long story short, if you want to stick around, I appreciate it. If don't, as always, I assume you have something better to do. In any case, I will be back in about 5 minutes.